Today's video is brought to you by a new sponsor. Let me show you two of them. It's Ridge Wallet. What do? Well, they help men everywhere get rid of that old giant leather wallet that you have that's probably absolutely rammed full of receipts for some unexplainable reason. They help you throw that in the trash where it belongs and get the future of walleting. I'm not sure walleting's a word, but I'm going to use it anyway, and it is the Ridge Wallet. What's in here? Let me open this one up. It's got space for 12 cards. I don't know who would have 12 cards. I've got like 2 bank cards, my health insurance card, driver's license, ID, and then I'm kind of done. But the space for 12, if that's how you roll, you Elon Musk you. It has over 30 different styles and colors. This one is titanium. This one is burnt titanium. There are also 28 other styles. I'm not going to show them all. I don't have them all. I'll take them all, Ridge, if you want to send them to me. I have replaced my wallet with your product, and I'm liking it. Also, protect yourself from digital footprints. It has RFID blocking. Whatever that does, I like being safe. Guess it helps. And a 45-day test period, which is backed by a full refund. Ridge Wallet is awesome. It's a great gift to yourself, and 40,000 people agree because they've given it a 5-star review. Also, gift for yourself, yes, as I said, but also, Father's Day is coming up. Maybe your dad has that giant wallet with all of those receipts jammed in it for that inexplicable reason. Get him to chuck that out. Get him a Ridge Wallet. Oh yeah, it does card saving. Did I mention? Cash in the back. It's got a little strap so you can still carry around cash if you need to. For some reason, I guess people still use cash. Dirty cash. Follow the link in the description below and use the code SIDEPROJECTS at checkout. You'll get 15% off the cost of a Ridge Wallet. Excellent product, excellent deal. Thank me later. And now today's video. The most impenetrable building on Earth? No, it's not Fort Knox, it's not the Pentagon, it's definitely not the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. It's not even the Svalbard Sea Vault, built into the ice just 800 miles from the North Pole. No. It's a fairly normal-looking building, located in New York. It's the Federal Reserve Bank. You can even take the subway to it, you could touch it, you could even book a free tour, weirdly enough. But what you most certainly can't do is break into it. And I'm going to tell you why before you get any ideas. Before you decide to risk your life infiltrating what's essentially a goddamn fortress, you should probably know what's up for grabs here. That would be 497,000 gold bars weighing 6,190 tons, otherwise known as the world's largest accumulation of monetary gold. Unfortunately for the United States, 98% of it doesn't belong to them, but to the 36 other countries they're choosing to let the federal bank babysit their bullion. Of course, we shouldn't feel too sorry for the United States. Official data indicates that they own more gold than any other nation. It's just stored in Fort Knox instead. Unofficially, China might really be the ones sitting on the world's largest gold hoard accumulated in secret, but now's not the time to worry about the implications of any of that stuff. That's a future worry. So why are so many countries trusting the United States with their gold? Well, there are a few reasons. Firstly, much of it arrived during and after World War II, when countries, particularly in Europe, were looking for a stable location to store their reserves. During the war, this was to prevent seizure by the Nazis, and after, because of a fear of Soviet invasion. Many countries took huge risks by sending uninsurable shipments of bullion across the Atlantic to keep their stockpiles safe. After their physical gold was safely locked away, many governments continued to add to their New York hoards by converting their dollars to gold, and stores peaked at 12,000 tons. Nixon put a stop to this in 1973 by suspending conversion by foreign nations in what's now known as the Nixon shock, and there's been a net withdrawal ever since. But much of the gold remains because, secondly, it's really convenient. If one country wants to transfer gold to another, instead of spending millions transporting it across borders, leaving themselves vulnerable to theft, they can pay a $1.75 fee per brick to have it moved from one compartment to another within the reserve. The last reason New York still holds so much of the gold is inertia. One need is there to remove it when it's locked up perfectly cozy with all of its other shiny friends. The bars themselves are stored as the trapezoidal bricks that we're used to seeing in films. Before 1986, the US cast them as cuboids, but they chose to switch to the international standard as they were deemed easier to pick up. Within the most well-stocked compartments, they're stacked 3 meters high and form an entire wall of gold. No two bars are the same. Gold itself is too soft and malleable to be stored in brick form, so traces of silver, platinum, copper, or iron are added to increase its strength. The purity of each bar must therefore be assessed and recorded when they arrive at the vault to prevent anyone swapping out one country's nice platinum-laced gold for another's iron mixture. This, along with the casting location and a serial number, is stamped onto each bar, making each unique and non-fungible. What most people who've handled a pallet of gold bullion will tell you is that gold is far more impressive in real life than it is on screen. There's a reason humans have chosen to use it in place of money for thousands of years. Firstly, it's incredibly dense. A single gold bar weighs around 12.4 kilograms. That's the equivalent of 2 bowling balls or 1 small goat. There you have it. Anyone who handles them has to wear magnesium shoe protectors to prevent losing a toe. There are still dents in the solid concrete floor in one corner of the vault where some were dropped. Secondly, they're incredibly valuable. At $640,000 each, holding one in each hand is, for most, the equivalent of holding a lifetime salary. The entire New York stash is worth over $200 billion. And lastly, it's shiny. It's really shiny. And if you build a 10-foot high wall of them, well, it's really, really, really shiny. As the US began keeping the equivalent value of the GDP of New Zealand in one building, well, they put a lot of effort into making sure that it's rather well protected. The vault itself isn't in the 14-story building, rather it's underneath it, resting on Manhattan's bedrock 24 meters below street level. During construction, an entire block of the financial district, minus the Montauk building, whose owners couldn't agree on a sale price, was excavated. Foundations designed to withstand the enormous weight of both the building and the gold were strengthened with 99 concrete pillars extending into the underlying rock. Then the triple-tiered vault system with 3-meter steel and concrete walls was lowered into place. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York was built on top of it. This is probably already sounding pretty impenetrable, but it gets worse. There's only one way in or out of the vault, and that's through an ingenious rotating cylinder contraption. The 3-meter-thick, 90-ton steel cylinder is held vertically in a 140-ton steel and concrete frame. When closed, the slightly tapered cylinder sinks 2.5 centimeters into the floor like a cork in a bottle. This forms an air and watertight seal that would lead to anyone trapped inside suffocating within 72 hours. To get inside, a series of timed and combination locks must be opened by bank staff. These are under multiple control, so no single person can open the vault on their own. Then 2 wheels need to be manually turned, one to raise the cylinder and the other to rotate it, revealing the passage. This can only be done once per day, however, so make sure you don't shut it behind you or you're going to be waiting for a while. Once closed, the cylinder is sealed in place by using 2 levers to insert 4 steel bolts through the frame. The genius of the design is that it's been in place since the building was constructed between 1919 and 1924, which means it doesn't rely on any hackable technology, so it's invulnerable to cyber attacks. For anyone who manages to make it to the vault itself, the defenses absolutely don't end there. Each compartment has 2 combination locks, a padlock, and an auditor's seal. So again, 3 people, that's 2 federal gold staff and 1 internal audit staff member, have to be present before you can get your hands on any gold. Even if you manage to pay off the right 3 people, you'd still be a long, long way from a payday. As I mentioned before, gold is really heavy. To manually remove the bars, taking them out through the cylinder door and up 5 floors to street level would be a slow and exhausting process. Much slower than the process of all the armed guards and local police descending on you with machine guns. And I guess it's this point we mentioned that we forgot to mention the armed guards. Each member of the security team must periodically prove their skills at the bank's firing range. The minimum requirement is a marksman score, but many are qualified as experts. So you won't be facing a stormtrooper-style scattering of bullets, rather a down-in-one type of situation here. And now let's get into how they'll know you're there. The whole building is closely monitored in real time with CCTV, and the vault door is rigged to alert the guard room anytime it's opened or closed. This alarm also seals all security areas and exits in seconds. Clearly, a heist involving the vault door is impossible, but if you've seen Die Hard with a Vengeance, you might be thinking there's another way. The gold store isn't the only thing lurking under the streets of New York. Alongside the cheese caves and subterranean cities of homeless people are disused subways and aqueducts. One of each is reasonably close to the bullion vault. This was noted by screenwriter Jonathan Hensley when he was working on the Die Hard sequel. He suggested the gold could be stolen by tunneling from the subway and removing it with dump trucks through the aqueduct. His script had to be submitted to the New York Police Department to read before production, which led to an unexpected call from the FBI. Fortunately, he avoided arrest as he managed to convince him that he wasn't a terrorist or privy to any secret proprietary knowledge by showing how easy it was to obtain the plans and maps. Also, any tourist can book a tour of the vault if they want one. He knew his plot was sound when one agent informed him that it was so plausible that they'd have to have a sit-down to discuss improvements to the facility that would ensure no one could pull off a heist like it in real life. However, I think they were covered as in addition to CCTV, the building is monitored with sensors that could pick up vibrations of any would-be tunnelers. It would also take the world's most powerful drill with a diamond head 2 months to make it from the subway station to the vault. Someone in New York would probably notice that. There are some, however, who think that all the effort wouldn't be worth it anyway, as the vault has actually been empty for a long time. A lack of audits led presidential contender and former US Representative Ron Paul to believe that they'd been stolen, loaned, or spent on something nefarious, and the bars seen on tours or in the rare footage recorded inside the vault is actually fake. The conspiracy gained traction when a story emerged that the federal bank had refused access to German Bundesbank agents both in 2007 and 2011. They didn't allow them to even view their gold, never mind withdraw it. As more than half of Germany's gold stocks were held in the bank, people were more than a little freaked out by this. In January 2013, Germany announced plans to bring their gold home, and it was transported by plane soon after. The Bundesbank denies the decision was due to reports that the gold was missing, and it reassured concerned parties that they had been able to view their stock. They were simply bringing it home as part of the country's plan to house their own bullion from now on. Despite their reassurances, however, the removal of the gold did nothing but heighten Paul's concerns that the Federal Reserve was actually empty. So the first ever audit was undertaken in 2012. Auditors conducted 347 tests by drilling tiny holes into the centers of the bars and testing for purity. Everything was found to be in order, but the vault is now 283 grams lighter than it was before. Technically the only physical removal of gold by non-owners since the vault was installed, since no one has ever attempted to break in and steal anything, unsurprisingly. There was, however, one attack on the Federal Reserve, but the goal wasn't gold, but fear. In 2012, 21-year-old Qazi Mohammed Rezwanul Ahsan Nafis traveled from Bangladesh to the US and began seeking out al-Qaeda contacts with the hope of committing an act of terrorism. Fortunately, his search led him not to fellow terrorists, but to an undercover FBI agent. He allegedly shared his desire to blow up the Federal Reserve, and the FBI agent offered to supply the explosives, 1,000 pounds of ANFO, ammonium nitrate fuel oil. Nafis chose to supply the detonator. After building what he thought was a bomb, he parked his van outside the bank and attempted to detonate it from a nearby hotel. Of course, the FBI agent hadn't supplied real explosives, and Nafis was arrested while struggling to trigger the explosion that would have destroyed the building and killed hundreds of people. Okay, so by now, you've probably written off a successful heist of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York as impossible. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. In 2016, a collection of North Korean hackers known as the Lazarus Group managed to steal $81 million from Bangladesh's account without digging, drilling, or cutting through steel. In January 2015, Bangladesh Bank received a pretty normal-looking email from a job seeker called Rasul Alam with a link to download his CV. Someone in the bank fell for it and infected their computer with a virus that allowed Lazarus to enter their systems and eventually the digital vaults that contained almost $1 billion. They planned the attack carefully and patiently, first setting up fake accounts in the Philippines to receive the money, and secondly, waiting for the perfect day. They chose February the 8th, the first day of the Lunar New Year, a national holiday in the Philippines, and a Thursday night, the beginning of the weekend for Bangladesh Bank, but not for New York. This gave them a full 5-day window to transfer, withdraw, and launder the money before they'd be discovered. Fortunately for Bangladesh, the hackers caught a few unlucky breaks. Of all the branches to receive the funds, they picked the Philippines RCBC Bank on Jupiter Street. Jupiter also happened to be the name of a sanctioned Iranian shipping vessel, which raised red flags in the automated systems, delaying the payments. Almost all were stopped, but $101 million made it through. The next mistake was a simple typo. The hackers had set up a Sri Lankan charity, the Shalika Foundation, as a conduit for the money. I guess someone was having a bad day as they spelled it Foundation on the transfer request and a bank employee spotted it and reversed the transactions. The remaining $81 million made it through and the hackers were quick to withdraw it and began laundering it as fast as they could. Much of it was washed at Solaire, a casino in Manila offering baccarat. This is a game that allows a good player to hold on to roughly 90% of their stake, and 90% of $81 million is really not bad. One laundering organizer, however, was caught along with $16 million, but the remaining money has never been recovered. So, how did a country like North Korea pull off the only ever heist of the federal bank? Unsettlingly, they'd been training an army of super hackers by identifying young boys with a talent for maths and sending them to China for training. These hackers have been responsible for not only the Bangladesh theft, but also the Sony hack, which leaked executive salaries and confidential emails, and the WannaCry ransomware outbreak, which scrambled victims' files and charged them in Bitcoin for data retrieval. While they may have missed their big payday, adding up all the cryptocurrency attacks likely to have been committed by North Korea brings the total to $2 billion. This is double the amount even attempted in the Federal Reserve heist. North Korea denies the allegations, obviously.